So, last na. Topic 4. This is about the job interview. So, malapit na. Malapit na tayong matapos. Konti na lang. Okay. So, let's proceed sa ating topic 4, which is the job interview. So, at the end of this lesson, you're expected to discuss the importance of job interview, note the considerations in undergoing a job interview, answer intelligently, sample job interview questions, and conduct a mock interview. So since virtual tayo, I think I will conduct this via Zoom. So be prepared, okay? So siguro group interview ang gagawin. Yeah. So be prepared lang. Next, let's move to this one. Job interview. Job interview is a conversation between an applicant and a representative of an employer to assess whether the applicant should be hired. So you have your cover letter, you have a resume, tinawagan ka na for an interview. So ito na yung kailangan mo ngayon. So it is one of the most popularly used devices for the selection of an employee. Lahat talaga nag-undergo ng interviews kahit saan ka mag-apply. So structured interviews are usually more accurate predictors of which applicants will make suitable employees according to research studies. So a job interview typically precedes the hiring decision. So the interview is usually preceded by an appraisal or of submitted resumes from interested applicants, possibly by examining job applications or reading many resumes. Next, after this screening, a small number of candidates for interview is selected. Okay, let's move to the job interview tips. So, walang second chance sa interview. One shot lang talaga siya. So, pag tinawagan ka na for interview, make sure na you are prepared. As in mentally, physically, and lahat. Prepared ka talaga sa gamit mo and all. So, you never get a second chance to make a great first impression. Remember, first impression lasts. So during your job interview, so knowing how to prepare for a job interview and having a well-prepared plan is vitally important to increase your chances of landing that dream job. So interview preparation is the key to success, and a well-polished presentation can give you an edge over others whose credentials might just be better than yours. So number 1, read and review the job description. So after your graduation, you're tempted, you're opted to pass as many resumes as you can. But do not forget to read the job description. Malay mo, hindi ka pala suitable for that job. Malay mo, hindi pala ikaw yung tao na pala salita, more on writing ka. So, why would you apply in as a newscaster? O, di ba? So, make sure na hindi ka lang yung bumabato sa yung parang ano, suntok sa buwan, hindi gano'n. Make sure na you read naman the job description para pag tinawag ka na sa interview, hindi ka rin mapapahiya. And kahit hindi ka matanggap, you will leave a nice image din sa kanila. Okay? So, read and review the job description very thoroughly and be sure to align your competencies with the skills required for the job. You will consequently ready yourself for questions around your previous experiences performing similar duties in other organizations. So, since bagong graduate pa lang kayo, kung mag-apply kayo, i-review kayo, kunwari, you're applying for a job na involves typing and code. So, ano yung mga previous experiences mo na involves encoding? So, yun yung i-prepare mo. For example, you're eyeing for a job naman na it requires you to write news. So, pwede mo sabihin na yung previous experiences mo ay you've been a part of the school paper sa campus, yung mga ganun. So, yun nga, read the job description. Always do that. Research the company. Yung sasabi ko kanina, organizations look to hire people with similar values to those company culture. So researching the company before an interview will give you an insight into the organization's future goals and plans. So mamamangha din yung employer mo, if you really know about their company, what are the mission, what are the vision, what are their goals, and how would you be of great help in fulfilling that goal. So, maganda talagang mag-research about the company. Ilang years na ba sila nag-ooperate? Top 1 ba sila sa business? And so on and so forth. And then, what to wear in a job interview. Wearing the right clothes to interview won't get you the job, but wearing wrong clothes will drop any chances of impressing the interviewer. So, dress professionally. Yun yung sinasabi sa akin nung lagi ng teacher ko, si Ma'am Cha. Ah, pag sabi niya, pag maging teacher na kayo, syempre, English majors kami noon eh. So, possible talaga na magiging English teachers yung iba. Sabi niya, pag maging teacher na kayo, always see to it na when you enter the room, you are prepared. Nakasuklay ka, yung damit mo plansado, yung sapatos mo hindi madumi. Para makita ng estudyante na hindi mo tinitake for granted yung time na makasama sila. Na you are prepared. You are there na ready to give out knowledge or give lessons to them. So, yun ang naging talagang wake-up call sa akin, especially nung nag-aaral ako na talagang pumapasok ako sa school bagong gising. Nakataas lang ang buhok, nakaban. So, naging turning point niya sa akin, naging eye-opener siya na sa job interview, pag nandun ka na sa office, natanggap ka na sa job mo, do not take it for granted. As much as possible, wear the right clothes, prim and proper, nakaplan sa dapat, as much as possible. Kung kaya niyo naman linisin yung sapatos niyo, linisin niyo. So, yan, dress professionally. It reflects kasi. Makaka-receive ka ng ibang level of respect then sa mga kausap mo or dun sa manager mo. Kasi kung, kunwari, nag-apply ka, tapos sobrang revealing nung damit mo, yun pala yung company na ina-applyan mo, very sensitive sila sa ganun. So, yeah, you might lose your chance. Next, plan your journey to the job interview. Consider how to get there during the interview. So, a failure to plan is a plan to fail. I'm so sorry for that. Madaling araw pero may maingay na. What is that? Okay. A failure to plan is a plan to fail. So, prepare all the things you need a night before the interview. Kasi, pag once na, already interview day mo na, and nagka-cram ka, kasi hindi ka nag-plan siya nung gabi, hindi mo mahanap yung pencil skirt mo. Hindi mo mahanap yung heels mo. Sobrang nagka-cram ka, nasira na yung mood mo. 'Di ba? So, pagdating mo sa interview, imbes na nakasmile ka, imbes na very confident ka, tapos nakita mo lahat ng aplikante, ready, nakaplansa sila, maayos yung sapatos nila, ikaw dahil nag-cram ka, hindi ka nag-prepare a night before, mawawala yung confidence mo dahil nakita mo na yung ibang aplikante na sobrang ready. Okay? So, yun yung point ko. Be prepared. Always plan out mo na lahat. Anong oras ka aalis sa bahay, ano estimate mo yung traffic, and then, pagdating mo doon, anong gagawin mo. Yung mga yun, yung mga simpleng bagay na yun, those little things that make bigger things possible. Okay? So make sure to arrive on time and ensure this by knowing the address. And if you can, have a trial run of a couple days before. So kung may time ka naman, for example, sa Manila, especially pag nag-apply ka sa Manila, malalayo yung mga company doon. So, i-dry run mo, anong mong sasakyan ko? Jeep or mag-MRT ako? Magbabas ba ako? Magta-taxi ba ako? So, at least alam mo na hindi yung the day mismo, doon ka palang magtatanong saan kaya yan? Mahirap yun, di ba? So, you might lose your chance. And then go to bed early at night and the night before and wake up early to give yourself plenty of time. And then how to act in an interview. So whether you get offered a job, it depends largely on how you perform during the interview. So it is imperative to make the great first impression on your hiring manager. So sabi dito, it's not just what you do, it's also what you say and how you say it. So kahit marami ka pang experiences nung nag-aaral ka, marami kang competitions na inattendan, marami kang seminars na inattendan, kung mali yung pagkasabi mo, mali yung tono ng pagkasabi mo, mali yung delivery mo, how you say it, malay mo maging minus points pa rin yun sa'yo. So, be mindful. Yan lang. And then, ayan, let's read the job interview tips. Do's and don'ts in a job interview. What should you do? Dress to impress, clean, ironed, and presentable clothes. Make eye contact and begin with a strong handshake. Huwag kang palausi-lausi pagdating mo doon. As in, good morning po. Ayun na. As in, confident ka dapat. Kasi one shot lang yan. So, minsan, sabi ko nga nung mag-demo ako for CSU, sabi ko, Angel, minsan ka lang mapapahiya. Sige, okay lang yan. After nito, kung hindi ka matatanggap, okay lang. At least you tried your best. So, yun, ganun. Ganun nung nagtitesis din ako, sabi ko, syempre mahihain talaga ako, pero inisip ko na lang, Jel, last last mo na to. Last year mo na to. So, ngayon ka na lang mapapahiya. Ngayon na lang. Hindi ka na lang makikita after this year. So, itodo mo na kahit mapahiya ka na sa harapan. Ganun yung thinking ko nun. Kaya, confident ako na kahit magkamali ako sa harapan, sige, okay lang. Kahit tanggap mo sa sarili mo. So, yun nga. Make an eye contact and begin with a strong handshake. Begin with a strong introduction. Pag pinaupo ka, sit still. And then with your feet firmly on the ground and remember your CV details or your curriculum vitae or FIT, I think, details, particularly the experience most relevant to the role you're interviewing for. And make note of your questions. And what should you not do? Turn up late to the interview. That's very big no-no. Dress inappropriately or sloppily, smoke before your interview, volunteer your weakness or your shortfalls, unless asked directly. So, kung hindi ka naman tinanong on what are your weaknesses, wag mo na munang i-open. So, as much as possible, pakita mo lagi yung strong points mo. So, pag tinanong, what are your weak side, dun ka pa lang magsabi. Okay? Do not say things that you are not asked for. Okay? Criticize your current or do not criticize your current and previous employer. Okay? And then, huwag mo sisiraan yung company kung saan ka nanggaling. Okay? So, the most common important part of preparing for an interview is practicing how to answer interview questions. So, you might be asked this one day. Okay? Knowing the most common types of job interview questions is an advantage. That way, you can craft your answers well in advance and feel confident in your responses when the pressure is on. So let's have these sample questions. Personal qualities. So interviewers will ask about you to gain insight into your personality and to determine whether you're fit for both the job and the company. So pinakamahirap. Tell me something about yourself. Alam mo, sobrang hirap yan kasi madali siya madali siya isipin, pero pag nandun ka na sa interview, sabihin, okay, tell me something about yourself. Dapat ready ka na magsabi na, wag ka na my name is, wag na, dire-diretso na. So, tell me something about yourself, just a quick summary of about you, your studies, and your former experiences. And then what is your greatest strength, your weakness? Tell me something that's not on your resume. So ano yung mga hindi mo in-include doon? Do you consider yourself successful? Oh, imagine, may mga tanong na ganyan. So, sasabihin sa'yo, do you consider yourself successful? So, be honest. So, as of now, I feel quite successful. Ganun ka naman. Because, by God's grace, I graduated and got my bachelor's degree, and that is something to be proud of. Wag naman yung sobrang negative mo na, hindi po ako proud sa sarili ko today kasi wala pa po akong trabaho and 4 years na po ako naghanap ng work. Hindi po ganun. Okay? Always be on the positive side. Okay? So, pag tinanong ka na, do you consider yourself successful? Unahin mo muna yung positive points mo. And then, kung talagang you really feel na unsuccessful ka, pwede mo isingit na, though sometimes, I feel very behind, especially with my classmates na talagang they ladder up na. So, sabihin mo lang yung ganun. Pero, looking back, I can say na I am successful naman in a way. Parang ganun. Okay? Be positive always. And then, tatanungin sa'yo, how do you handle stress and pressure? So, hindi naman may iwasan yun. So, sa personal na sagot mo na yun. Okay? Next, your previous job. For example, nag-resign ka sa previous job mo. Okay, employers also almost always ask about why you left and why you're leaving your current job. So be prepared with an explanation for why you're moving on. Do make sure that the reasons you give match what past employers will say about you if they contacted for a reference. So since magbibigay ka naman ng resignation letter mo sa previous company mo, make sure na yung sasabihin mo rin sa interview mo, sa bagong ina-applyan mo, katugma ng resignation letter mo. Okay? So, yan. What do you want? Why do you want to change jobs? Why were you fired or laid off? Why did you quit your job? Why did you resign? Why have you been out of work for so long? So, for example, nag-resign ka 3 years ago and ngayon ka lang babalik sa work. So, pwede mo namang sabihin yung mga talagang honest answers. Okay? Next, compensation. Ito yung pinakamahirap. Itatanong kung yung sahod ba, ano bang sahod ang gusto mo? Okay, some of the hardest questions to answer during job interview are about compensation. Here's what you will be asked. So, question about salary can be tricky to answer, and in some locations, employers aren't allowed to ask about your salary history. So, what were your starting and final levels of compensation? What are your salary expectations? What are your salary requirements? Why would you take a job for less money? Makikita kasi nila yan. Next, academic qualifications and preparation. So the most important thing for interviews to determine is whether you're qualified for the job. So, sabi nila, are you overqualified for this job? And why? Tell me something about your educational background. What can you do better for us than the other candidates of the job? So do not sound too airy naman na talagang uh, maiirita na yung hiring manager dahil sobra ka namang naghahambog na. Sound, ano pa rin, sound very humble pa rin, okay? And what part of the job will be the least or most challenging for you? And what philosophy guides your work? Next, job performance. How you perform in your previous task can indicate how you will perform in the job for which you are applying. So be prepared to answer questions about what you did well and what you didn't. So ask with questions about qualifications and be sure to relate your performance to the employer's requirements. So what do people most often criticize about you? What problems have you encountered at work? Why weren't you promoted at your last job? Tell me something you would have done differently at work. And if people, you were asked why you should be hired, what would you say? So be prepared lang sa mga ganyang tanong. Work history. So yung mga question na what were your expectations for the job and to what extent were they met? What were your responsibilities? What major challenges and problems did you face? How did you handle them? What did you like or dislike about your previous job? And what was the biggest accomplishment or biggest failure in this position? So be prepared. And then management and teamwork, describe your ideal boss. What do you expect from a supervisor? Have you ever had difficulty working with a manager? Describe how you manage a problem employee. And do you prefer to work independently or on a team? So, dapat alam mo yan. So, pag nag-apply ka, make sure na yung na-applyan mo, ano ba yan? Personal ba yan? Or team, di ba? So, yun nga sabi ko kanina na always know the job description. At least you know where to place yourself if you are really suitable for that job. So, sa outstanding characteristics, why should we hire you? Why shouldn't we hire you? Or what can you contribute to this company? And then knowledge on the new job in the company. So, what do you know about the company? Sabihin sa'yo, tatanong sa'yo, how is your company better than your current employer? What interests you about this job? What do you know about this company? Why do you want to work here? And what challenges are you looking for in a position? So, looking ahead, tell me about the trends in your profession and industry. Kung already engineer ka, ano ba yung mga current trends sa engineering? Ano ba yung current trends sa architecture? Ano ba yung current trends sa English teaching? And so on and so forth. What are you looking for in your next job? What is important to you? What is your professional development plan? Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? And what will you do if you don't get this position? Kasi employers will always have high regards from you if they can see na you're really prepared and you're really goal-oriented. Kasi based on your answers, makikita nila on how determined you are to get the job or how passionate you are to really work for it. Or makikita kasi nila pag tinanong nila, how do you see yourself in 5 years, 5 years from now? Kung ikaw yung tipo ng tao na, honestly, I cannot see myself 5 years from now. Hindi ko po alam. So parang doon pa lang, malalaman na nila na hindi ka mentally prepared or hindi ka yung organized na tao. So at least prepare answers for that and really know yourself. If you know yourself better than the others, then you can present yourself better. So yun nga, know yourself and know the job description and everything will follow through. Everything will flow as it is. Okay, and then one last question. Do you have any questions for me? So, yun lang yung mga yun. And we're almost done. So, kanina pinag-usapan natin workplace communication is a process of exchanging information and ideas verbally and non-verbally within an organization. So, good communication in the workplace is an integral element to business success. So, a resume and a cover letter are documents used and created by applicant to present his or her background. Memorandum is a short message or record used for internal communication in an agency or office or company. And then, tatlo yun, we have inform, request, and response. And marami pa. And job interview, yan na yung mga kanina, yung mga questions na possible itatanong sa job interview. So it is a conversation between the applicant and respective representative of an employer. And that is to assess whether you are really ready for the job. And we're done. We're done. We're done sa Unit 6. I hope na this is something that you will not forget, especially after graduation. So you will be really pressured to apply right after graduation. But do not forget to know yourself, to know your pacing. Everyone has its own timeline. So no, do not race because nakita mo lang yung classmate mo na hinire ka agad. Although nandun yung pressure, always remind yourself na we all have our different timelines. Okay? So, just know yourself better and present yourself better in a way na uh, you will sound ready for the job. You will sound passionate and goal-oriented for the job. Yun lang. Yun naman yung mga kailangan talaga when you are applying for a job. Okay? So, sana may naiintindihan kayo and sana hindi nyo ito makakalimutan since first year pa lang kayo and may 3 years pa. Okay? So, sana ma-practice nyo yan and yeah. Sana may natutunan kayo sa akin. Yun. God bless you sa future endeavors nyo. I hope na one day magkikita-kita tayo soon na, uy, teacher ka na rin pala. Uy, CEO ka na. O, diba? So, yeah. Yun lang. Keep safe everyone and advance. Merry Christmas. Bye! God bless you.